character with Ian James Corlett, who just did a character for us for Dimensional Double Shift. Sporida Man.
Sporida Man. Yeah, he sounded a bit like this. I wonder where he's from.
I don't know where he's from, but apparently he's from Sporida.
Yeah.
Where did you pull that character out from?
It's kind of one of my go-to things, and it's based on this amalgamation, probably from like Andy Griffith's shows.
Oh, interesting.
There's an old reference. I bet none of your viewers will know what that is.
Oh, come on, people have to know.
But you know, there was always hillbillies that would show up, and I don't know. It's a Dawes Butler ripoff. There's another reference.
I don't know Dawes Butler. What's Dawes Butler?
Dawes Butler was one of the guys he was one of the OG Hanna-Barbera voices.
Oh,
did a lot of stuff.
Okay.
And Stan Freberg, I think he worked with him. These are all really old references, but it gives you something to do.
Yeah, and those are classic voices that it's interesting. I think, especially Hanna-Barbera, the old cartoon ones, they feed down through our consciousness.
Yes,
so
they
I
do.
think when we here now reference back to those, there's some familiarity with it that it just sounds right.
Yep. Yeah. It's like an impersonation of a president or something, and people end up doing the impersonation of the impersonation, and it ceases to be who the original character was. But I always pull it. They're old memories, and I just like that voice.
Yeah. Reminds me a little bit of Foghorn Leghorn. Has a little shake or two of that in there.
Yep. Yeah. You take little pieces from here and there and put them all together.
Nice. What would you say was the moment that you knew this was what you were going to do?
The moment was when I realized I'm from Vancouver originally, and my history was I was always doing something with my voice. When I was a little kid, I was really into puppets, so I would do voices for the puppets. And if that wasn't nerdy enough, I progressed into ventriloquism, also using my voice. And I realized how nerdy that was. So then I sort of started making student films. And I was always making animated films, and I would do voices for that.
Oh.
So it's been really a life long thing. And the time that I really realized that I could do something like as a living, because Vancouver at the time, this is before the film and TV business really started happening in Vancouver, but what they did have was a very, very vibrant commercial jingle business. So I realized quite early in my 20s that this was something, and I went, that's what I'm going to go do. And I just banged on doors until they eventually hired me. And they hired me originally as a character guy. So I would be if they had some weird character voice they needed for a radio commercial, I was the guy. And then eventually it kind of like turned. I remember distinctly the time when one of the production companies went, hey, we want you to come in for this thing. And I'm thinking, oh, what kind of accent or character or whatever, what do you want me to do? And they went, no, we want you to sound like you, like just the guy next door. And I went, what? So that was kind of the beginning of when advertising was shifting from, announcers. Everything sounded like an announcer prior to those, sort of early mid 80s. And then I sort of fit the bill for Everyman, and the rest is history.
The rest was history. So pretty soon after that, you realized, like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. And then, knock on, fortunately, animation work started coming to Vancouver. And as a result of I had already been established as a commercial guy. And when the U.S. and international animation companies started to come to Vancouver, they went to those commercial casting places and went, we need voice actors. And me. So
wow.
that's my
timing. Really good timing.
Yeah, very, very fortunate, very lucky. And yeah, it was I'm very grateful.
So that's interesting that you had this, you were feeding this from a very young age, very organic to move through that. Was there a certain point where you ever said to yourself, I need to know more. I need to be able to expand my voice more, or I need to know character work more, be able to develop a wider range of characters?
Yeah, I mean, you're always, always, always learning. And there's a million ways to learn. You can, just sort of by trial and error. And I was really fortunate to be able to grow through work. It's a very unusual way to do it. But again, I was very fortunate. But I know what question you're asking, and I think my answer is, the biggest thing to me is refer to it as voice acting. And I like to reverse those and call it acting with your voice. So the most important thing is to learn how to act. Yeah. And the voice stuff kind of like, that's all spice, but the technique is acting, knowing, how to read and music. I think you may have found this too. I find a lot of people who are really at the top of voice acting are musical in some way, either a singer or play music or something, because there's a music to the lines.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about it. Well, so much of it is learning how to listen as well.
100%.
Yeah.
You were saying listening.
Yeah.
I eavesdrop all the time because I'm just trying to hear how people, what their rhythm is, something I haven't heard, or like, what is that accent? Where are they from? And it's like, it's constant. Just always be aware, and it just, little things go into your toolbox. And when I moved, we were talking about this earlier. I moved to LA in 2015, and I looked at it as kind of a fresh start. So I took every workshop, every class. And I mean, not to go, but I'm tooting my own horn. I mean, I was established. I was a voice actor, professional. And a lot of times, the course instructor would go like, what the hell are you doing here? But I just wanted to sort of, look, I moved to a new place. I'm going to start like I'm at zero.
Right.
So I shouldn't say many. Some of the classes, I kind of went, why am I doing this? But there was always something you can take away. And a good friend and colleague of mine, because I was complaining at one point, because I said, I don't know, what, I signed up for this thing, and I don't know, it's kind of, it's not for me. And he said, just look at it like a toolbox. Like, you don't always use that tool, but there's going to be something in there that you're going to use at some point. So that's kind of my 2 bits on that.
I also think it's valuable that when you move to a new location, getting into classes, anything where you're getting inside of the vibe of the city, because it's a different vibe. It's a different working vibe.
Absolutely.
How people communicate in this town is different than in other towns, even though it's ultimately the same industry.
It is. And because of my specific situation, which was, I was a big fish in a little pond. It was a really good pond. But I really wanted to get that vibe. Like, what is this city like? And you pick up a lot from that. That's a really good point. Yeah.
Well, nice. Well, thanks. So great to work with you today. Really.
It was a blast.
Such a pleasure.
I look for this dimensional double shift. It's going to be fun.
Double shift. Sporelando. Is the dimension that we will be in.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.